Does James Gunn's Superman movie have a political message, or is it just the hopeful movie we need right now? The trailer starts with Superman beaten, spitting up blood, crashing into some Arctic desert somewhere. And James Gunn says, we do have a battered Superman in the beginning. That is our country. So Gunn said that at the trailer's premiere, and some people have taken that to be an attack on one side of the political spectrum. They're thinking, hey, this seems like he's getting political. And it's understandable. Gunn has made his own political leanings clear in the past, but Gunn says this beatdown represents an America corrupted by darker voices. And based on his personal views, I can see why it might set off alarm bells. But the full quote suggests that he's not focused on dark voices on one side or the other. This isn't an us versus them sort of attack. He says the movie is about the basic kindness of human beings. He says that kindness, it's under siege by some of the darker voices and some of the louder voices. In my opinion, the loud voices he's talking about, they're on each side. I think that he means that these people who, I don't know how much they even believe what they say. And I think there's people on both sides who do that. Maybe they amplify their own views, but they do it in a way that isn't fair to the other side, that demonizes the other side, and they're working to divide the country instead of bringing it together. And James Gunn and his Superman movie, they're not going to contribute to that sentiment. It doesn't seem. James Gunn says, I believe in the goodness of human beings, and I believe that most people in this country, despite their ideological beliefs, their politics, are doing their best to get by and be good people, despite what it may seem like to the other side. And that makes me so excited about this movie, because I don't know how much power any one movie can have, but just the fact that somebody at that level in the media realizes that we are, for the most part, good people. The people who are bad are not the majority. They're the fringes. And it seems to me like James Gunn wants to move away from the darker, cynical, political undertones of some of the earlier Superman and DC films. Looks like he's going to reject some of those grim narratives that forget what you think about politics. I mean, people are tired of the grim movies, right? People are tired of how edgy DC is, they say. So that on its own ought to be something that gets a lot of people pretty excited about the movie. Gunn's approach seems like he's not just going to focus on Superman as a symbol of hope, but actually have a movie that reflects hope in humanity as a whole. I love that, because to me, the biggest problem that I have with Superman is that he almost, and he's a fictional character, obviously, so he doesn't mean to do anything, but a lot of times it seems like the people who write Superman or who like Superman and talk about how great he is are using him as a moral yardstick to highlight humanity's shortcomings. Instead, James Gunn is going to be, I hope, embracing that aspirational idea of Superman, which is what Superman is really supposed to be about. And I think that the more Superman is about that, the more you'll find people liking him. Now, by showcasing this Superman who is battered but resilient and emphasizing themes of kindness and perseverance, Gunn could tell a story that really celebrates humanity's potential rather than its failures, rather than putting all the goodness and the hope in some fictional character. It puts the goodness and the hope in us, in like real world people. It could really deliver a broader, more uplifting message that would really unify people. Get all these people who are Superman fans or comic book movie fans or superhero movie fans or maybe new superhero fans to stop looking at people who disagree with them as monsters or demons or automatically just the enemy. And I really do think most people are trying to do their best. It's kind of like if you ever see somebody cut you off in traffic and you're like, they're the worst. What are they? They're just idiots. They're just terrible. The worst people. But then when you're trying to get to work or you're in some like emergency situation and you need to get over and you feel they're not letting me over, they're the worst. And then you cut somebody off, but you understand why you did it. We don't know what other people are doing, but trust me, most people are not cutting you off because they're jerks. I think that that's the case when it comes to who people vote for, what people think about different social, economic, political issues. Everybody's doing their best, and you just have to understand that the lens you're viewing things through is not providing you with all the information. Anyway, I could be totally off base. Let me know if you think that this thing is just going to be a disaster. I am so optimistic that this is going to be the best Superman movie ever made and the most important one, the one that has the potential to actually do something really big for society. If you like hearing people overthink based on what a few comments were made by some director or writer or whatever, subscribe for more.